go. Okay. I try to set a few things up out there. Try to make sure that it's focused right. I should probably get my glasses for this. Okay. Well, good morning, guys. It's early in the morning here. Yeah, I think that makes most things worse. Okay. I wanted to show some shop card shout out. Last couple of days, I was getting some shop cards in the mail. First of all, Hobby Dude 007. He sent me a shop card and sent me a sticker. And I already put the sticker on the toolbox. But, yep, that's going to be hung up real quick. I'll put a piece of tape on the back and put it with the other shop cards I've gotten. Since I had shop cards made up, I've had a, when I send them out, then you get the shop cards back because then they have your mailing address and they're able to send them to you. But this one here is GI Mechanics Scale Modeling. And Cliff, he wrote me something nice on the back. He goes by the Sarge. This is some good stuff here. Real 8x8, I think 8x8 wheel drive. That's a real monster truck there. Good stuff, fantastic. He was a mechanic. Very good guy. Cliff, nice to have met you, that's for sure. And thank you so much for your service to this country. All right. And I got model cars by DDB. Yes, he was an original subscriber. When only I think I had 10 subscriptions. Him and Pete and Glenn and Zippy, which I mistakenly called Zippy Nippy one time on his channel, and he was talking about how cold it was down south. We're up here. We're right next to Chicago. So DDB, he wrote some great stuff on the back. Very, very good guy. Hobby Barn. Now this one came last Friday. Hobby Barn. It's Terry. Let me just get my fingers out of the way. And very good guy. We've talked back and forth several times. Very good guy. Very good model builder. All of these are very good model builders. And that it doesn't surprise me. Very talented men. Thank you, Terry. And then I have Mars. There you go. Mars just had his made. And he asked for a shop card. And I sent him some. I sent him 2 of them. One so he can display from the front and then the back too. But Mars's builds are really nice. Good rat rod stuff. And weathering techniques. Check him out. He's a really good builder. Okay. Shop card. Now I'll be able to put my shop cards up with the others. There's quite a nest of those. I got some wheels. I found some wheels in my parts box for the group build, the under 1,000 subs, and I'm way under 1,000 subs. And I want to use these for my rear. I haven't found any tires yet. I'm probably going to have to cast some, get some stuff in to be able to cast them. um, after Monday. Is that there? My little guy, he's coming along too with, I started filling the back of him in with epoxy, 2-part epoxy, and it's got that white stuff, gray and white, and when you mix it together, it's real thick, almost as thick as Bondo, but it hardens like a hard plastic. So it's a little tougher to sand, but it I got that from Amazon, I think Tammy did. Then I got the old standby, the 5-minute epoxy, the clear stuff. I think everybody's used that. That's some good stuff. I think we got that from the hardware store. Put that stuff up. Oh, I wanted to move that to get to this. I've had this stuff to be able to mix molds, and I used to be a prototype yacht builder, prototype ocean-going yacht builder, and I know how to make molds. I know how to make the plug out of Bondo and build a huge ship out of Bondo and plywood, and sculpt the hull, which goes well up over your head, and you screed the Bondo, real thin layers every time. Me and another guy, we'd have a piece of aluminum. We'd make these bosses out of fiberglass Bondo, and then we'd screed normal Bondo in between. And I mean, we went through gallons of the stuff. Each time you do one screed, I had to mix tons. And at the Christmas party, the owner, John Story, he asked, he's like, what is the hardest thing so far? And I said, well, in the body shop world, you do as little Bondo as you can. You can stick a magnet to the car when you're done. This stuff here, I said, it's quite the opposite. You mix tons of it at once. But we made the part, and then we made the made the mold, and I was one of probably 8 guys in a skeleton crew making all the molds and making all the parts. Then you make the mold off it, pop the mold off. Once the mold is popped off, that $1 million plug is worthless. A lot of times when you pop the mold, it busts it apart and it's junk anyway. You can't do anything with it. And yeah, not biodegradable. It's not anything. So it goes off to a kind of a junkyard where the grass is yay high, and walking through there, you get a bunch of chiggers. I remember getting those and getting rid of them and killing them. That was really tough. That it used clear fingernail polish over each one, and it would finally suffocate them. But boy, were they itchy in the meantime. But yeah, I remember getting a lot of those. The one time I went there, they were talking about deer hunting, and they were using one of them as one of the hulls molds as a target backdrop, and it hit and it bounced and it came flying back toward them. But yeah, they're absolutely junk. But yeah, I've got the mold making. Would be in the silicone family, I'm sure, because it's real flexible for what I've seen. But then you mix them together, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. But I've had that for about 3 or 4 months now, and I want to make some tires. I'd love to make some rims, some good looking rims. But whatever I don't make, I'm sure I'll turn on the lathe, because that's what it's there for. I was talking to Gary Zink. Why am I getting that? Gary Seeds the other day, hanging with Mr. G Seeds. I was talking to him, and he's sending me a surprise in the mail, and it's going to be fantastic. It's a surprise to you and not to me. But he was talking to me about Scale Auto. He did a lot of different models, and I was a subscriber to Scale Auto for many years, from 1993 till 2008 was when I let the magazine subscription finally cancel. So I told him, I says, I've seen a lot of your work, and I've admired your work for years. And I picked up the first one. I've taped it together. I've had it so many years. It's 1998. 1998. And I picked it up. It was in a stack in the bathroom. Of course, that's where I do any reading, would be in the bathroom. So I picked it up. It's the first one. I didn't go through a whole bunch of them and try to find his work. I was looking for his name and all this because there's so many really nice. He's done a lot of lowriders, and this is way back. This is way back when their magazines were very, very thick. It's when they started getting thin. Then I just kind of dropped the subscription. But this was his build here, which I remember seeing this a long time ago, and really, I love the looks of that, and the work that's done on those flames, because every one of them are outlined as if they were pinstriped, but it's not pinstriping. It's metallic silver laid down beautifully, and then masked, and then spray the candy on top of that. I could take a look at any paint job, whether it's on canvas, anything, on cars, especially motorcycles, any of that, and I can look at a paint job and tell how they did it, and I can do it too. I can turn around and do it, but that one there is so much masking and so tiny, so small scale, that I don't think I would even be able to try that one. Okay, I've rattled on and on about all sorts of stuff. Okay, well, like, subscribe, have a comment. I hope I'm in the frame. So many times I've done these videos, and it's got me like from here down, like Mr. Wilson. Or Mr. Wilson, I guess, is the opposite. You only see in his eyes. Like, subscribe, comment if you have any comments, or if you'd like to see some kind of, well, you know what? I can't go yet, can I? I've been working just a little bit on the under 1,000 subs. See, since I don't have the TV screen in here, that's what I'd like to do, is put a TV screen in here. That way I can see if anybody's writing anything. I'd like to be able to see if it's able to be seen. But I came up with the color for the interior. I'm not real sure if I want it flocked. I may flock the whole thing. That's why I painted it like that. I thought, no, I'm going to put some nice fuzzy flocking in there like I like. I like a nice, comfortable interior. It might not be so good in this one. I'm not too sure. So I've got the rear wheels lined out, and I've got some front wheels, but I don't know. I don't think I want to go with Halibran on this. I don't think it'd be very fitting. Let me get my fingers out of the way. And I've been working on the engine. I had a blower on it. Yeah, I am going to be able to lift it out. I think you guys saw what that one looked like last. But yeah, the colors on that are stunning. This camera doesn't really pick anything up very good. And I have an external mic. I just have to extend the cord to be able to bring it in. So I'm working on that too. And so we need the cords. Okay, and then here we got this. My dad used to be a great model builder back when I was young. And he ended up with the shake so bad. And I've got a little bit of it. It's essential tremors. He's had it for a long time. He used to be able to pinstripe cars and just do a wonderful job. But then his shake got to be too much. And he hasn't built a model in years. But I need to put some plug wires on these next. And how I do that is I I used to use distributors, and I drilled each one of the holes into the distributor, and then I would put all the little wires in and boots in on the distributor. Used to do all that. But the real strong glasses I've had the strongest magnifying glasses I've ever seen. Got them years and years ago. It was my first wife's grandpa. And after he passed away, I had his razor, his, circular razor shaver thing. I inherited that and his really strong glasses. But as what that's done with me making those tiny little distributors is it messed up my eyes. So anything far away, I see almost 20/20. Like these are lineless bifocals that I got back in '98, and they've been on a prescription for a while. And up close, I guess is all right. So I guess I can look at it like that. But yeah, doing all the detail work like I used to do a long time ago, and it became pretty tough. So now anymore, I make a magneto, which I would like to run a magneto in real life because they're so reliable. You don't have the points, you don't have all the points and condensers and everything else that goes wrong with a distributor. You don't have all that in a magneto, and you have a lot more power. And they're easier to do in scale because I take a piece of sprue or tree, you call them that, and I'll drill a hole in it. And I have the drill bit set up wherever that drill is, and I'll drill them to that size, and it's enough for 4 wires to pass through. And I'll wire one side, and then I'll cut each one of them, and I'll glue each one in at a time. And I've never got to the end where you have the 4th wire to go through, and it didn't fit because the hole was too small, because I knew that would happen. But I've never had that happen yet, so I keep that drill bit lying around. And that hand drill, that pin vise, I've got 3 or 4 of those pin vices, and each one's set up, one for like spark plug wires. And they, wherever they're at. Once I moved everything in here, it's like everything got squirreled away. Like, oh, it fits there. This is such a tiny room. It's like 3 feet wide by 7 feet long, but it's so tiny that I had to really squirrel everything away. I wanted it for my toolbox. That's really all I did this for. I built this, which was a TV stand. I built this thing. When we moved in here, we needed a TV stand, and I built it all out of 2x4s. Strong. It's as strong as can be. Because I moved everything in here after we've been here for 9 plus years, 9 years and like 3 months. I wanted to get my toolbox. I wanted to get the tools in my toolbox. I had a bunch of them in the trunk of my car. I had just a few of them in here because I had those wooden TV trays. I had 2 TV trays set out. Then I had the toolbox put on it, and I didn't have many things in it. And here it was well over 100 pounds. I was going to be expecting it to just collapse and smash on the floor one night in the last 9-something years. So I told Tammy, I said, I really would like to get that solid deal in there because I don't want to go and buy a bottom box on Marketplace. On Marketplace, they're on there sometimes for $50. There was one here in town, only a few blocks away, $15, but they wouldn't respond to me at all. They read my thing, wouldn't respond, couldn't get it, and then here it was sold the next day, which I could have went right then and got it and paid them their $15. But anyway, I wasn't supposed to have a bottom box, obviously. So I told Tammy, I said, how about it if I take that and put it in that small closet? take my lathe out of there, because the lathe used to be right here. Like my toolbox was here, and then I had my lathe right here, and then I turned the wheels for the small scale build. All of that's up by the TV. And I turned those on camera, and then I went and I moved that out of here, moved this into here, and it's pretty long. I was kind of nervous that I wasn't even going to fit in here, because when I brought these 2x4s in to the apartment originally, I brought them in as 2x4s. I didn't bring them in as a built bench, and it's very, very solid, real solid. So I was able to put my toolbox on there and then take all of my tools and put them in there and clean them all up, make them all nice. And then I piled boxes and everything on top of it, model boxes. And those are empties, by the way. I want to put a piece of tape on each one of them, and then just fill the wall here with shop cards and boxes of rare old models from the 70s. Those are what I used to collect years ago. And yeah, I've got some of those boxes, and I want to kind of display them. So I put my toolbox in here, shine them all up, and then stacked everything on, so I can't even open them up to show them to you or anything now. And till I get everything hung up. Not too sure I want to film in here all the time, but it's kind of nice to build models in here. That way the stuff, the model glues and model paints and all that stuff, they all just, they're in here and they're off of Tammy's table. She would ask me every once in a while, can you clean some of that up? And yeah, I can clean it up. I don't have anywhere to put it. Now I have somewhere to put it in this tiny little closet, squirrel it away. And when I feel like working on a model, I'll come in here and work on one. And I'll be out of everybody's hair. I'll be out of her hair and out of the cat's hair. I'll just build models quietly. So that's a nice little deal. Okay, guys. I think that's about it. I just wanted to let you know why I put the bench in here. It was for that really heavy toolbox, because it was well over 100 pounds when it was about empty. And I'd go to get into it and open up the drawers, and the whole thing would just sway. And it's like, oh, that thing is just, it's gonna break. So this one here ended up being a lot better. And I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, guys. Like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. The subscriptions help out the channel. And hopefully Tammy and I can do some more recording from the VCR, because I've been looking through a bunch of hours of stuff, and I'd like to get a lot of it on here, but I haven't run across too many really good things that I can use on the channel. I have run across the Mustang. I was real happy not to have lost that footage. And I had an idea it was on this particular VHS tape, but it was broke. I got a VHS player off of eBay for like $20. It was old, all scratched up, silver. The whole top is scratched. It's a mess, but it kind of works. If it goes to look like snow or anything like that, it'll just be a blank screen. But it stays a blank screen when it goes to a real video is playing. It's like weak, it's tired. The rewind doesn't really do rewind. You can hear it in there just kind of going. So I need to put some kind of a paddle bit on a drill and rewind it manually myself. I need to go through a lot of tapes that way, because they're at the very end and it won't do anything. The whole thing is real weak, but it plays a little bit and it plays very clear. This camera isn't clear, but the one I recorded it with was great. So I need to do something with the cameras and stuff. So that's about where I'm at. I have a few things I got to take care of, and then hopefully the videos will be back up and doing better. But have a great weekend, guys, and I'll be back with you as soon as I get a little bit more accomplished on the, I think it was a 67 Impala. I didn't even get near that, and it just jumped out. But okay, I think the shop cards are holding it, but it's weird that it would do it then. Yeah, this is turning out nice. I love the raspberry color. And I mixed that myself with purple candy. That's House of Colors. And then the candy brandy wine from another company. And I didn't think they were going to mix, and they really didn't. They separated because every one of these shades, even that dark shade that's underneath the little bitty squares in there, that was still that same mix. It was strange that I expected each time I shot the tiny little airbrush, each time that I sprayed it, that I was expecting another color. I've never had any paint ever act like that. It turned out beautiful. So I'm really happy with that. So that's going good. I think we have 2 months to work on that and build it. Also wanted to touch on Jack in the Box. He doesn't have a shop card, which that's cool. I didn't have a shop card for 6 months. I've been a channel that Tammy made me for 6 months, and I didn't have a shop card because, frankly, they're expensive. It's way out of my reach, really. But if you want to get your channel to go any further, I would say you need to promote your channel with a shop card by mailing them to people, and then they mail you back theirs, which it all works good in the modeling community, and it really brings all the guys together for all over the world. I mean, a lot of these people are from everywhere, like Pete. Pete's from jolly old England, and I love talking to him. He's a fantastic guy, great builder. Each one of these guys are just amazing builders. And like I said, it doesn't really surprise me because, what you can do, someone else can do, and they can probably do it better. So you would never really have the reason to be an arrogant person. You couldn't be in this kind of a hobby. You can't. Okay, so I'll let you guys go before I wander off too much, because that's what I do. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye, guys.